Hello, everybody. My name is Rich. I'm going to be speaking on behalf of Rachel today, as she is currently traveling. A little bit about me. I am a CPA. I have been a hiring manager in the past, I guess for about 7 years. I worked in human resources. I have been writing resumes for originally part-time for 20 years, but over the last 10, it has been full-time. I also have been unemployed, so I understand resume writing from both aspects, from the aspect of the resume writer, from the aspect of the hiring manager, which is the most important, and for us, which is the most important for us today, from the aspect of the job seeker. First, we're going to just talk about some resume weaknesses, and after we talk about some different weaknesses, we'll talk about a few other topics pertaining to resumes, and then we're going to jump and talk a little bit about cover letters. Okay, so the biggest resume weaknesses that we generally come across, believe it or not, are actually layout issues. Not necessarily design, not necessarily format, not necessarily even wording. The biggest weakness, meaning the most common, is actually layout. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the layout. When you lay out your resume, remember that a hiring manager is looking at so many of these each and every day. And after a while, they truly do all start to look alike. So what you have to do is you have to make it easy for them to read. I call it the law of non-resistance. If you think about a sales brochure, it's usually written in a way so you don't have to really read that much, right? Everything just kind of jumps off at the page at you. And that's what you want to do with your resume. You want to use the same exact type of methodology, the same type of theory, because it's proven to work. Not only in sales brochures, but for hiring managers as well. It's literally proven that there's been studies conducted. So with that said, the first thing you want to have is a professional profile or professional summary. Objectives are deader than dead. The date of this recording is 2013, and I can tell you objectives are deader than dead. Some people still choose to use them, and I could see some argument for it if you're like graduate student trying to get into a graduate school, or a fresh graduate trying to get work experience at a major company. But usually an objective is not really needed anymore because of the fact that if you're applying for the job, somehow, somewhere it fits into your objective. So there's really no room to state that, and it's really just wasted space when you could have a professional summary. The professional summary literally sums up your career to this point. And in your professional summary, you want to write it in what I call shortened English. You'll see in the examples that you were provided the style that it's supposed to be written in. That's summary style. But you want to talk about the things that are pertinent, and it's overall. So some people just go up there and they just talk about their education. No, well, this is a great time to talk about your education, your experience, and just a few personal attributes. And the reason I stress few personal attributes is because a lot of times I see people get a little carried away in trying to describe skills that aren't necessarily demonstrable, right? I'm a hard worker, I'm dedicated, I'm a team worker. All of these things are really good, but don't go too heavy on them because they mean nothing at this point because they can't be proven, right? You want to do stuff that is proven, such as 7 years demonstrated experience in accounts payable, right? And when I say demonstrable, not only demonstrable as in it can be proven, but it can be proven elsewhere on your resume. Because later on, if I decide to read the rest of the resume, I can look, oh, he was an accounts payables officer. Okay, that looks good, right? So that's what you want to do. And another important thing to have on your resume nowadays, back to the law of non-resistance, is a key skills section. And it'd be really great if you had one of the professional resumes out as I was saying this to you. so you can actually see for yourself. So the key skills section, this is huge. I recommend always having at least 9, right? 3 rows and 3 columns. But you don't necessarily have to limit yourself to that. You can have, up to 18, right? Yeah, assuming you've been in your career field for a long time. These are just bullets. That's all they are, is bullets, because it's beautiful the way it works. I, as the hiring manager, I'm going to look at the resume. I'm going to skim through the profile. Obviously, some things that I'm looking for would have jumped out at me. Now I'm just going to start reading down the key skills, right? Very easy. They're just bulletized. They're words. I don't have to do any reading. I don't have to look at a paragraph. I've been reading resumes all day. I don't want to read them. I just want to skim them, right? Because you read it and then the person's not qualified. You just want to skim it. Okay, so I'm looking there. Okay, you're good with QuickBooks, Microsoft Excel, Access. Wow, you speak a few programming languages. Cool. Very easy for my eyes to see, right? Now, I'm going to jump and talk about using the templates a little bit. You'll notice that templates that we have, yes, they're all customizable. And keep in mind that there are already bullets there. So if you're having trouble, you can use the bullets that are already there. So sometimes when I see people give away resume templates, I mean, you can call these templates, but they're really actual resumes. Not all of them, but a majority of the professional resumes are real resumes. So just type over the stuff that's already there. That's what I would recommend. Yep. Just go ahead and type over the things that are already there. And if you get stuck, you can even use them for help, specifically the professional profiles though. Okay. So that's the way to go ahead and use the template, right? And a better way, instead of deleting the line, literally, go ahead and start to type. That's how professional resume writers do it. A lot of times, if we see a resume that is going to end up being similar to one that was done last week, last month, we pull up that resume and just literally start to type over that and create something new. Of course, we're creating new bullets. Sometimes we change things around, and that's another thing. Feel free to change things on your template. You might not need to, but if you have a particular license and this particular resume doesn't have a place that says professional licenses or memberships, feel free to add it. But again, don't add it. Why reinvent the wheel is basically what I'm trying to say. So copy something from another section and simply go down and paste it. That way your formatting is there, your font's already going to be there and everything. And the same thing with the bullets, right? You can delete some of the line, leave the font. That will save you a ton of time. Trust me, I've been doing this for a long time. It will save you a ton of time. So that's just a tip. Okay, so now when you actually start to write your bullets, this is another resume weakness. Ensure that you're in the proper tense. A good rule of thumb is to try to always start off with the past tense action verb if in fact the job was in the past. But don't put stuff like marketing. I mean, what is that? And there's actually resumes like that out there. Advertising, promotion. I mean, you don't want to write your job description like you do your key skills. And that's what some people do. Accepted customer payments. That's better, but why not say accepted customer payments via cash, FPOS, and credit card, or something like that, right? That way you can extend that bullet, right? Now, when you're doing this, think about the who, what, when, why, and how. Try to give more meat, more substance, more description to your bullet, right? Because I may not be thinking, you just accepted cash payments, but when I see on there, oh, okay, I see, right, it kind of jogs my memory. Well, I guess you do have to use a point of sale device to do that. I guess you do have to process it via, the merchant account, via Visa or MasterCard or something like that, right? And it doesn't look as blank, because sometimes you get a really long bullet and then a really short bullet, right? So what you want is you want to go ahead and capitalize on that line. I'm not saying all your lines should be the same, but I'm saying 1-worders, 2-worders, 3-worders are definitely a no-no, right? You definitely don't want to do that on your resume. And in giving that description, think about how you might be able to quantify it. Quantify, right? So let's say you increase sales by 10%. Try to say that. Or if you sold stuff over the phone, say you sold stuff exceeding sales by 10% or exceeding quotas, or any way that you can possibly quantify it, because numbers kind of break it up and it draws the eyes to it, but also because an employer will get a chance to think in their mind your value added, the value that you can actually bring. And when you do something, also try to put your software skills in there somehow. Of course, you should have it in your key skills section, but a lot of times I may see something where someone did scheduling. So they'll say completed weekly employee rosters. Why not say completed weekly employee rosters using whatever software system you use? PeopleSoft, SkillSoft, via Microsoft Excel, however it was done. So go ahead and throw those type of things in there as well. And don't be afraid to really sell yourself on the line. Put more than one skill. You can say something like provided outstanding customer service in accepting cash, credit, and debit card payments. You see, within that one bullet, not only are you saying that you had customer contact, you're saying that you understand the importance of customer service, and that also you know how to work with money, you have some minor numeracy skills, and you also know how to probably work a point of sale device, all within one line. You see, and that is really expanding upon and capitalizing on your opportunity to sell yourself within that bullet. Okay, and while we're talking about bullets, also remember consistency. I personally don't use periods, often called full stops, commas, or semicolons. I don't use any type of punctuation after each bullet, and most professional resume writers don't. However, if you would like to, that would actually be okay if you really feel that you want to. But the biggest takeaway with this is be consistent. Sometimes you'll see something where there's a period here and then not on that one. And then there's a comma on this one and then not on that one. And employers aren't going to nitpick your resume, but if you actually make it and they only want to interview 6 people and they have 6 people and they have 10 resumes, then they will go ahead and narrow it down, and something like that could be the deciding factor, especially if you have detail-oriented as one of your skills or something, right? Detail-oriented, but you weren't even consistent on your punctuation, so the employer will probably put you reluctantly, but still in the reject pile. So little stuff like that, watch out for, be consistent, and a resume should be aesthetically pleasing, right? Oftentimes, human beings still are looking at them. I'm not going to discuss ASC 22 today because that's pretty much used by larger corporations. And that's just a software in which your resume is literally read by a computer, uploaded, and they look for keywords. And a human being generally doesn't look at it until you're chosen, right? They run a database for they run a query via a database for a particular search or keyword. And then resumes that have that keyword a certain amount of times or what have we pop up, and then they view them. However, most small to medium-sized entities don't use that, and small to medium-sized entities still are the bulk of employers. Okay. Cover letters. Let's discuss cover letters. Okay. The biggest mistake with cover letters actually isn't the format. That's one of them, and that can be easily fixed. Just get the proper format, no problem at all. But the biggest mistake actually with cover letters is that the way that they're written really needs to be improved. Specifically, the first paragraph. The first paragraph should be a minor introduction. Before the introduction, you want to talk about why you're applying or why you're writing them. Right. So something like, I am interested in the workmanship position that I saw on careers.com. Okay. And then the second line, or immediately thereafter, at some point early within the first paragraph, my resume is attached or included, whichever word you choose to use, for your review. Okay, something like that. Now, after that, you want to come pretty strong. After that, you want to come strong. You got them. They're sitting here reading your cover letter. You don't want to go on to say something like, I feel that I can grow tremendously from, whoa, all right. Believe it or not, the company wants to help you, but they're looking to hire someone. And companies are in business to make money. So generally, they hire people, and the point is to make more from you than what they pay you. That's why they're in business. You're, in essence, getting a portion of what you help them earn. So with that said, should you really talk about how you're going to grow? They are interested in that, don't get me wrong, but what you really want to do is go ahead and say something powerful right then and there to talk about how you can help them, right? That's why they're looking to hire someone. They're looking to hire someone because they feel that they have an opportunity to grow as a company, or they're looking to replace somebody. They need someone, right? So in that, let me pull up one of the examples for a moment. You want to say something like, I would like to express my interest in the Java developer role as advertised on the careers page of your website. Boom, fine, no problems. I have included my resume for your review. Good. Sometimes, believe it or not, they'll read the cover letter first. Other times they will read the resume first. It depends. Every recruiter is different. Then you want to say something strong, such as, I have a Bachelor of Computer Science and Engineering, over 5 years of postgraduate work experience, and am extremely proficient in designing, developing, and debugging web-based business applications. Boom! That's strong. That's powerful. You're letting me know about your experience and your education in the third sentence of the first paragraph, and that's usually the last sentence, right? You're pretty much summing up, why are you good for this job? Well, not only do I have the education, but also have the experience. And if you have a certain amount of experience, you want to quantify it early, right? Quantify it early. I have over 10 years of, okay, all right. Now they want to continue to read. After they see that, they want to continue. Now you've said all that. That was pretty much like a summary sentence, right? Now what you have to do is you have to have some supporting paragraphs, because you just said something really powerful. You said, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Well, let's see. Let's back it up. And that's where the next paragraph comes in. And you don't necessarily have to start every sentence with I. mean, you don't have to. You could, but you don't have to. There's other ways to do it. So as a Java developer with Entity Solutions, I designed new functionalities, diagnosed and fixed application bugs, as well as worked on all phases of applications from design to deployment. That's really powerful, because first you told me you had all this experience, and then you immediately followed it up by explaining to me where you gathered this experience and what you did. And the beauty of the cover letter resume package is that once I look, as from the aspect of the hiring manager, once I